JT Rule of Law, Partnerships. A partnership is a small business entity. It is an agreement between two or more persons to carry on a business for profit. Therefore, a nonprofit can never operate as a partnership. When determining if a partnership exists, the courts are going to look for three qualities of the relationship. Number one, that there is a sharing of profits or losses between the partners. Second, there is joint ownership of the partnership. And third, that there is equal right to manage the entity. So the courts will look for all three. If you're sharing only profits and you're not sharing the losses, you could be deemed as an individual with employees versus a group of partners. Joint ownership of the business is required. There could be no member of the organization that does not have an ownership interest. Otherwise, it will be deemed by the court not to be a partnership. And finally, there has to be equal right to manage the organization. So you can't bring somebody on board that is not does not have a voice at the table on how decisions are going to be made and what decisions are going to be made. So the advantages of partnerships are that they're pretty easy to create. You can create them orally, or you can have written agreements, which is something that I highly recommend from a legally astute point of view. Put the terms of the relationship down on paper, so in the event of a dispute, it's clear on how things will be handled. Another advantage of a partnership is that they are a pass-through entity. For tax purposes, which means that any income or loss earned at the partnership level will pass through to your personal income tax form and only be taxed once at that level. This is different than a corporation, where a corporation will be taxed at both the corporate level and at the personal level. One of the big disadvantages of a partnership is that a partnership, the partners all have unlimited personal liability for debts and judgment against the partnership, which means there is no separation between the partnership assets and your personal assets. So this creates a particular danger when operating in this type of business, where there is a judgment or a debt that cannot be handled from the partnership. They can come after each partner individually or collectively, or the partnership itself, to collect the debt. In partnerships, partners have joint and several liability, which means that they are all jointly responsible for debts, judgments, and other obligations. And if this partner creates a major obligation, The person that is owed the money can come after this partner, or can come after this partner, or can come after all of them, or these two. You're all like the Three Musketeers, all for one, one for all. You're all jointly and severally responsible for each other's actions and obligations, and you have nothing to protect your personal assets in the event somebody's going after your partnership or your individual assets to satisfy an obligation owed.